Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Hello, it is I, and welcome back to another week of Student of the Gun Excellence. Yes, we are coming at you from 7,000 feet up at Student of the Gun University, Saratoga, Wyoming. Just in case you didn't know. Just in case you haven't been paying attention for the last 2 months or so. And I know some of you are new, and if you're new, welcome, congratulations. And I would like to take a moment to appreciate and acknowledge your excellent decision-making skills, because here you are, and here we are. And speaking of we, you're like, how is it a we are? Well, Jared's over there, too. Is his microphone turned on this morning?
My microphone is indeed turned on. And I gave a little bit of the Darth Vader there. I was trying to scoot my chair, and I was using the fader as like to pull myself, and yeah, it was Darth Vader there.
Hey,
yeah, I
see
am.
what I'm drinking out of this morning?
What?
My
Your Hollywood card?
My one of a kind exclusive Hollywood mug.
I wish I had one of those. I just got a regular
Keep
student
wishing.
one. I don't really have a nickname. I mean, I kind of do, DJ Jazzy Jared.
Well, yeah,
but that wouldn't fit on that cup.
Little Fedor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Speaking
speaking of nicknames,
I graduated.
Yeah.
I graduated to regular Fedor.
Oh, really? Did you? You're not Lil anymore?
I guess it got too much, too many syllables. I mean, really, when you're yelling at somebody in the cage, you're like, Lil Fedor. No, I'm just going to say Fedor.
Oh, what's funny is, yeah, your mom said little something the other day. She said, what did she say? She said,
Little Boozy.
She said, I just need a little something. And I laughed out loud. I said, that's a rap name. She told me I was an idiot. She does that occasionally.
I'm going to call you Lil TPX.
Yeah. So I said something. I said, TPX. And she goes, what is that? And Zach said, it's tension pneumothorax, Mom.
Ah, that's funny.
Oh, you want to hear what?
I forgot where the TPX originated from.
Yeah, that's right. TPX. That was from the grad program, from when we had all the grad program people down for the Beyond the Band-Aid class. No. All right, funny thing. So last night we're sitting around the table, and Jared had not seen that video, the Ice Baby.
Yeah.
For it's a promo for the upcoming season of Game of Thrones, right? And only like 9.8 million people have seen it so far. So if you haven't seen it, don't feel bad. But I shared it on my personal Facebook page because I thought it was funny, and I asked Jared, I said, did you see this? And he's like, no, send that to me. So I sent it to him. And, of course, you know how Facebook is on your phone. Like, if you watch one video, it wants to suggest that you watch another one, right? So the next one up in my queue was the John Wick plays Nerf. Have you seen that one, Jared?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was laughing about it, and I said, Jared, the John Wick and playing Nerf. And so Nancy's in the kitchen. She goes, what? I said, John Wick, you know, the Nerf. She goes, what's that? She goes, oh, John Wick, the guy from Game of Thrones. Like I said,
yes, honey.
I said, you are culturally retarded. Yeah. I said, those two are like the complete opposite sides of the spectrum. She goes, well, isn't that guy? The little short guy in Game of Thrones? No, John Wick is not the little short guy in Game of Thrones, but thanks for playing. Kind of like Boba Fett. Is that some kind of a stormtrooper or something? What's a Boba Fett? Is that like a stormtrooper?
Yeah.
Whew, I love my wife. Bless her heart. And she is a stalker, too. All right, speaking of, I don't even know, speaking of anything that I want to talk about, training. We actually, Zachary and I were out this weekend. Zach went out with me, and Zach runs the camera, and he does some shooting as well. We went out into the field. I took my rifle for a walk, actually 2 days in a row. Friday evening and Saturday morning, I took my rifle for a walk. And then on Saturday afternoon, we went over to the Spur Ranch pistol range, and we decided to shoot pistols with suppressors on them. Or actually, I have one suppressor that fits all the pistols. That's the cool thing about them. If you buy a good can, a good pistol can, especially 9mm, it will have interchangeable thread adapters, because not every manufacturer, you'd like to think that there's an industry standard, and there kind of is an industry standard, but it's not 100%. Most American threaded barrels for 9mm will be 1/2 by 28 TPI, right? Right hand twist. But then you have the Europeans that have to do things metric, and not only metric, but left-handed. So if you've got a 1/2 by 28 suppressor for your 9mm, you've got to be able to change out. And also, if you're going to shoot it on a fixed barrel carbine, the thread pitch on the fixed barrel carbine for a 9mm is probably not going to be the same either. So, and how do you find all that stuff? You're like, dude, you're blowing my mind with all these options. I would bet you if you went to silencershop.com that they would have all the products and accessories broken down. Don't you think, Jared? So
I would say that.
Yeah, that's probably an accurate statement.
Yes.
And we did a couple of I did 2 nights. On Friday night I was by myself, and then Jared came over Saturday night, and we sat on the porch of the Hanging Bull. And what did we do, Jared, on the porch of the Hanging Bull Saturday night?
We smoked the cigar and we talked.
Oh, we didn't smoke the same cigar. It's not like we had,
If you were thinking that when I said that, then
you said we smoked the cigar.
No, I said we smoked a cigar.
A cigar. Well, we smoked cigars. Okay, he had one and I had one.
Yeah.
But the Hanging Bull Lodge and the beautiful porch of the Hanging Bull Lodge is where you will be. Well, you'll be hanging out if you come up and take training with us here in the very near future. Now, the July class is filled up, but the September class still has some seats left in it. And if you are interested in taking training from Student of the Gun University, well, I've got something for you. What you can do is you can text TRAIN, TRAIN, to 844-207-7684, and that will put you immediately into the pipeline to get information about training courses and training material that Student of the Gun provides. How cool is that?
Because we are awesome.
Well, we try. We're working really hard. And as soon as you sign up as soon as you do that, you're going to get access to 2 videos for free, and you can kind of test it out and test the waters and see what you think. So that's all you got to do is text TRAIN to 844-207-7684. And it's Monday, so what does that mean for all you freaks and freakettes out there? Well, it's time for our SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week.
Hey, this is Jesse from Arkansas. I just was wondering, you guys talk about gun belts all the time, and I've heard some people say they prefer nylon, some people prefer leather. I just want to know what your take was on it, what you prefer, or does it even matter? Secondly, I did a Duracoat project recently, had a little difficulty with it, and I cannot find a video online of you doing a Duracoat product, just your before and after pictures and such things like that. So if you haven't made a video, I was wondering if you could make a video on basically a how-to. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
Well, all right, before I answer the questions and before I address that, Jared, will you go ahead and remind our Warrior of the Week of what he needs to do to get his free 9mm plus P from SWAT Fuel?
Yes. Send an email to info@studentofthegun.com, info@studentofthegun.com, and include your name, your mailing address, your email, and your phone number. And, we did make some changes. If you want to be the Warrior of the Week, then you just call and you leave a clear, concise question, preferably 30 seconds or less. And you can call the number. The number has changed, so listen closely. The number is the same as the text number. It's 207-7684. I did that. So now you can call or text that number. Call it for the word of the week, or you can text TRAIN, TRAIN.
Wow. We simplified things for you freaks, and you're welcome. Now, I know some of you are sitting out there in the audience right now, and you're all like sad. You're like, oh, I wasn't the warrior of the week, man. It's okay. I mean, I've still got something for you. Okay, if you weren't this week's warrior of the week, you can still go to SWATfuelstore.com, and if you use the promo code SOTG 2015, I'm going to let you save some money. How's that sound? You'll save some money off of your total order. So there you go. Just do it. All right. To the gun belt question, number one, yes, some people like leather. Some people are traditionalists, and some people like the nylon belts. And if you buy a nylon belt from a company that's making belts for gun people, generally they're pretty smart about it, and they'll do one of two things. Number one, they'll put a reinforced a liner. They'll reinforce the belt by putting a stiff liner in the middle of it, so it keeps the belt from folding over. If you just buy a generic, okay, I got a classic example for you guys. Well, about 10 years ago, 511 was giving away free belts when you bought a pair of their pants, right? Yeah, or one of their shirts or whatever. But and they were giving away these free nylon tactical shooters belts, and these were the cheapest pieces of crap you could possibly ever buy, right? I mean, they had them made in China for $1 a piece, right? And these the belts that they had, they were wide. They were about 1 3/4 inches wide, but the nylon that they used was really, really super slick, and it was not reinforced. And yeah, you could run. And the thing is, the pictures of them, that's the funny thing is, they would show the picture of their cool 511 pants with these, super ninja belts that they were giving away for free because they're $1 a piece. And it looked stylish, but they would never show the guy with all the crap on him. They would never show him with the holster and spare mag pouches and all that stuff. And what I found is I gave it away. I gave it to somebody or something. I tried using it, and I was like, yeah, this thing's a piece of junk. Because it wasn't reinforced and it would fold over. Now, a leather belt, same thing. There are leather belts that you can get nice, shiny leather dress belts from wherever. You can go to your JCPenney or Sears or Walmart and get these leather dress belts, but they're not designed for holding up a gun. So if you buy, whether it's nylon or leather, if you're buying the belt from a company that also manufactures and sells holsters, the chances are really, really good that those guys know what they're doing. I suppose the one big advantage of a nylon belt is because a nylon belt doesn't have holes punched, every inch or so, that you can kind of micro adjust a nylon belt. Because obviously you guys know if you're wearing an inside of the waistband holster and you've got a standard leather belt with the standard, number of holes in it, and then you've got your belt set at that hole, right? That specific hole that's for your waist. Then you put a holster on and you go to the next hole down or maybe 2 down, and it's not quite there. It might be a little too snug or a little too loose or whatever, but you don't really have a choice because you're kind of stuck there. So your choice is either to gain or lose weight, but the nice thing about nylon belts is that they do allow for kind of a micro adjustment. So to each their own, and I know there are a lot of good companies that make all of those things. Of course, Crossbreed makes really high quality leather belts, and they don't just make one kind, they make several different styles as well. So thank you for your question for that. Now, as to the Duracoat video, the reason that I haven't done a Duracoat video is this. I'm not a Lauer Weaponry certified Duracoat finisher. I didn't go to official Duracoat school. I learned by watching videos of Steve Lauer doing it and by reading the directions. And also, I learned by a lot of trial and error. When I look at the first one I did, I was like a chimpanzee playing with spray cans. I was just terrible. Well, you know what it was? I was just so excited to be able to do the project that I didn't take the time to do as good of prep work as I should have. And the fact of the matter is got to do your prep work. You have to. You got to do serious prep work if you want the finish to look good. But I talked to Jared, and Jared said, well, Dad, why don't you do it? You know, you've been doing it for so many years. Why don't we record the next one? Okay. So I guess the next one we do, and actually I've got one in mind right now, Jared, but the next one we do is going to be, or the next time I do a Duracoat project, we'll do a video of it. How's that sound? Does that sound good for you guys? Jared, do you agree with that?
I do agree.
He agrees with it, and he says it's a good idea. So.
I think we will just tell people in the video in the beginning that we're not a certified finisher, that you're not a certified finisher.
That's right.
But this is Professor Paul. You've been doing it for a while. People have seen your before and after pictures, and they're actually impressed. So believe it or not, you can do one thing right.
All right. Well, you know what I can do? I can sip some coffee out of my Hollywood mug here. Thank you, Ed. And I'll just let Alex talk for a second.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Yes, indeed. You can do that, and you should do that. If you have a friend who thinks that they know everything about guns, and then they open their mouths, and then you cringe, and you say, don't argue with that person. Don't get into a heated debate with them. Just say, hey, man, you're a gun person. Have you ever listened to Student of the Gun? And of course, if they think they know more than they really do, they're probably like, no, what is that? And say, here you go. Send them over. Let me argue with them. Let me poke holes in their fallacies. Not their fallacies, but their fallacies. I can do that. All right. And why are we able to do this? Well, we're able to do it because we have good friends in the industry like Crossbreed Holsters, the makers of the Super Tuck Deluxe and gun belts and the Freedom Carry and everything else you'd want or need to carry a gun. If you want to be an armed citizen and you're serious about it, go to crossbreedholsters.com. Now, Frog Lube it's green, it's minty fresh. It's a bio-based firearms lubricant, and Frog Lube is also a suppressor medium, or media. I'm sorry, it is a suppressor media. You're like, what? I didn't see that on there. Well, if you guys know anything about shooting pistol cans or 22 cans, now you do not put media, whether it's wire lube or gun oil or anything like that. You don't put that in rifle cans. It's a no-no. But with a pistol can or a 22 can, what you can do is you can apply some type of liquid. Some people, they swear by wire lube, and some people just put CLP in it or what have you. And what I've found, and that's the difference between a dry can and a wet can. You can shoot silencers, whether pistol or rifle silencers. Most of them you can shoot them dry, no problem. You don't need any kind of lubricant in them or any kind of a media. You can use water if you want to, but water obviously evaporates very, very quickly. And I don't know what silencer you have. Some of the silencers may have carbon steel in them, and if you put a bunch of water in there, you may be looking at rust issues. Most don't, but I don't know where you got your can. There's like a billion companies making cans right now, so who knows? Here's what I started doing. We did the video of what the 22 can, like 3 years ago or something, Jared? It's been quite a while. When I start out the day with my, if I'm going to the range and I'm going to start shooting, I'll put some Frog Lube. I'll put it inside the 9mm can or the 22 can, and I don't know if you've ever seen anyone do it. You put the can, you put the Frog Lube in or your media, you drip it in the receiver end, then you put it between your hands and you roll it back and forth, and you kind of angle it so that gravity helps you out, and that helps to spread the media. And you're like, why would you do that? Well, it actually reduces the noise a couple of decibels. And when it comes to the case of Frog Lube, what that it does also is it helps to reduce the amount of baked on carbon and funk, because pistol cans have to be cleaned. They just do. Sorry to break your heart. you're going to have to eventually take your pistol can apart, and you're going to have to clean it. So if you put that frog lube in there as a suppressor media, and you're trying to kind of reduce the noise, you're also enabling yourself to clean the suppressor, the silencer, much easier when it comes time to take it apart. So there you go. And obviously, if you guys watch the video that I did, what I do is when I clean them, take them apart, clean all the funk and nastiness and junk off of them, and then I'll put frog lube on the baffles, reassemble the can, and it's ready to go again for another 500, 600 rounds, depends on how often you clean your can. So there you go. And where can you get frog lube products? Well, you can get them from froglube.com, obviously, or you can get them from Brownells or wherever you want to, man. It's America. Get it wherever you want. Century Arms is the sweetest smelling arms maker in the U.S. of A. And listen up, freaks. In case you were not paying attention, I'm going to tell you that Century Arms is running a $50 factory manufacturer's rebate on Century Arms rifles. And we put the link in the show notes here. Now, you can go to centuryarms.com and check them out, too. Or if you're on the show notes and you go to 614, click it. There it is. There is the direct link, and that takes you and it tells you which of their products, and pretty much I looked, and it's like the entire rifle catalog, I believe. But if you buy one between now and July 15th, you will likely be eligible for a $50 rebate. So think about that, man. That's like getting $50 worth of ammo free. It's crazy. So wanted to make sure that you guys knew about that. Duracoat, why? Because life is too short to have an ugly gun. Beginning and end of sentence. And if you want to get Duracoat products, you can get them from LauerWeaponry.com, which is their official site. Or you can go to Brownells when you're shopping for frog lube or Century guns or pieces and parts and accessories. And the 9mm Beretta, the M9 Beretta that I shot this weekend, and we put pictures up. The barrel, it's a Silencer Co. barrel, but I got it from the Brownells catalog. And you're like, ooh, really? Brownells has aftermarket barrels? Yes, they do. So check them out and make sure that you're signed up for their newsletter so that you're not missing out on any of their specials. All right, that's enough thanking our friends for right now. Let's talk about Georgia and what recently happened. Now, I want to talk about this. I don't get too heavy into specific party races and politics on here. We didn't really spend hardly any time talking about Donald Trump versus Ted Cruz versus, this guy or that guy. I'll leave that to Rush Limbaugh and what have you. But this is good news. And I wanted to take the time to discuss it during this show because I don't want this to always be about, negative. And I know there's a lot of bull crap going on in the world, and we have to deal with it. We can't just pretend that it's not going on because, bad things don't fix themselves because I don't like politics and I don't like talk about politics. So because you don't like politics, then they're just going to leave you alone.
I was going to say the world makes it hard for us to just report positive news all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's not realistic.
Yeah. So, but in case you weren't paying attention, and in a lot of states, this really didn't matter because you didn't have special House races or elections, right? Because you're thinking to yourself, like, how in the world do we just have an election in the United States when it's not an election year normally for senators, congressmen, president? We just had one. What's up? Well, what happens is people get elected to cabinet positions or they move from one place to another, and what does that do? That leaves the seat open. People die, people have problems, whatever. Anytime you have either a congressman or a senator or what have you, and they vacate their seat, what does the governor have to do? Well, the governor of the state is required by law to first set a replacement. Right? They can nominate a replacement, but they also have to set the date for what? A special election so that they can replace this person, right? They can allow the people to vote for them. Well, there was a big one in Georgia, and I don't know how much you guys paid attention to it, but the Democrats, the liberal fascists, the social democrats, the communists of America, the American Communist Party that goes by the name Democrat, they thought that they could gain some more control of the U.S. House of Representatives and that this seat was ripe for the picking. And they got this carpetbagger scumbag named Jon Ossoff. And they put tons and tons of, and here, this is a Georgia race, right? So you'd think, well, it's all about local people and local politicians and the Georgia Democrat Communist Party and, the Republican Party of Georgia and so forth. No, the National Communist Party of Democrats decided that they were going to pump millions and millions of dollars into Georgia to try and trick the people of Georgia into electing this carpetbagger scumbag Jon Ossoff and stealing a seat away from the Republicans. And of course, there actually, if you pay attention to the news, there were actually 5 seats that were open. There were 5 special elections, and the Communist Democrat Party spent all kinds of money and time, and they got all of their Hollywood puke bag friends out wearing stupid T-shirts. Riddle me this, Jared. Did you see any of these pictures of these Hollywood puke bags wearing Jon Ossoff T-shirts? Like Alyssa Milano and a bunch of other left coast, these little socialist puke bags that they live in California, right? So why does a socialist puke bag Hollywood actor in California give one rat's rear end about who gets elected to a House seat in Georgia?
Because they were told to.
That's all right, because they were told to.
It does what it's told.
It does what it's told. Because the Communist Party of America, the Democrat Party, told these puke bags, hey, we really need some help pushing this carpetbagger, getting him elected in Georgia. And I'm going to say, if you're living in Georgia and you're listening to me, congratulations, because it was a full court press by the Communist Party to inflict this carpetbagger on you. But here's what they forgot. The Democrat Party forgot that the state of Georgia is not New York. You can't just put someone on the Democrat ticket and shove them down the throats of the people like they do in New York State, a la Hillary Clinton. Talk about a carpetbagger. Talk about a piece of crap politician carpetbagger. And that's the sad thing about the state of New York is they have this city that is absolute poison. New York City is poison to that entire state. And so if you're the Democrat Party and you want to grab some, if you want to do political payback to some carpetbagger scumbag like Hillary Clinton, you just put them on the ticket. You know that all of the tax slaves and socialist slaves in the People's Republic of New York City, they'll vote for them. So you're like, okay, they're in. Whoever they put on the ticket, they could put a lamp. They could put a desk lamp on the on the Democrat ticket in New York, and they would be the next senator.
Did you know that the Republicans, all Republicans, are extremely sexist?
Oh, they are sexist, bigoted, homophobic. All
yeah,
that.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
That's why that Karen won in Georgia.
Yeah, so here's the funny thing. And we'll talk about this. The party, the Democrat Party of America, the American Communist Party, what do they always tell us? They're all about diversity, and they're all about equality, and they're all about women's rights, and then they're all about gender sensitivity, and they're all about this and that, and they're the wonderful smoking dope, farting rainbows, riding on unicorns people, right? But every time they get the opportunity to do something, to nationwide, what do they fall back on? So you had a strong independent woman running on the Republican ticket, and then you had a privileged white man running on the Communist Democrat ticket. But I thought that Democrats were all about women's rights and equality for women, and I thought Democrats were all about, we like strong, independent women. So what's up with putting a little snot-nosed privileged white guy up against this strong independent woman in Georgia? They're communist Democrats. And there's been a whole bunch of pictures this last week of all of these Jon Ossoff supporters. The Democrat Party is the party of the crybaby. Have you noticed that, Jared? Every time they lose, they're out like rending their garments and wailing and crying into their hands, and they just go, the world's going to end. It's pathetic. But you have all these women, right? They have pictures of these Jon Ossoff supporters, these women crying and going into hysterics because their scumbag carpetbagger didn't win, despite the millions of dollars that they tried to force into Georgia. You're like, hey, ladies, why didn't you vote for the woman? And I'll tell you why. Because liberalism is a mental disease. And all of your supposed principles and your values and anything you call character, if you are a socialist Democrat, every single one of those things, every one of your values, every one of your principles must first be sacrificed on the altar of liberalism. How else do you explain women still voting for Democrats? How do you explain women voting for Hillary Clinton, a vile, disgusting creature who we know, this isn't even conjecture. It's not conjecture. It's not supposition. It's not rumor. No, Bill Clinton was a scumbag womanizer. He still is, but I don't think he's probably as active as he used to be. A piece of crap scumbag womanizer. Used women like underwear and discarded them.
And his wife helped him
cover it up. And his wife helped him cover it up. She enabled him for 30-plus years. She has enabled him to use and abuse women, just like disposable underwear. And yet, women who are supposed to be proud feminists, I'm a proud feminist, and I support strong, independent women and equality for women, and no. And you're going to support a woman who allowed her husband for 30 years to abuse women? How do you jive that? There's only one way you jive that. Liberalism is a mental disease.
You know how they cover it up now. It's super easy for people to cover up the way they really live, because all you have to do is post stuff on social media and then boost the post or whatever, boost what you're posting on your social media to the general public, and they think that that's what your real life is.
Well, it's all about communists, Democrats, socialists, liberals, whatever. They're not about their actions. You're not allowed to judge them on their actions or the results of their behavior. You have to judge them on what they say, what their intentions are. I'll give you another example, and this is going to burn some of your butts, but that's just too bad because I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to say what needs to be said. People who purport themselves to be American Christians, Catholics, or Protestants, or whatever, and they also vote Democrat and support Democrat candidates. There is nothing in the American Democrat Communist platform that supports Christianity. Matter of fact, I would say 95% of the Democrat Communist platform, and if you guys don't know what a political platform is, you need to educate yourselves. I don't have time to do that. It's contradictory to the Christian faith. It's contradictory to the teachings of the Bible and to Jesus Christ. So how does someone get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, I'm a proud American Catholic. I'm a proud Protestant Christian, and go out and support a candidate for the American Communist Party that is the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party, tell me how killing babies, yes, that's what's inside the woman's womb. That's what's in there. It's a baby. It's not an unviable tissue mass. It has a heartbeat. It has fingerprints. It has eyes. It is a baby, but it's inconvenient, so we're going to kill it. Tell me how that jives with Christianity. Tell me where in the Bible it says, thou shalt not kill unless this baby is going to inconvenience you. And then if the baby's going to be an inconvenience to you, go ahead, kill it, throw it in the garbage, and you're good to go. What, Jared, was that in Matthew or Psalms or where in there does it say that? Oh, that's right. It doesn't. But we have people who claim to be Christians, Catholics, Protestants, whatever, who support Democrat candidates. A Democrat candidate is a communist. A Democrat candidate supports the platform which is wholly anti-Christian. It's not conservative Republican judges that are crucifying and, basically, I got to be careful because I'm getting kind of exercised here, Jared. But all right, I wrote a book called The Intolerant Christian, where I specifically pointed out all the several instances in the United States of America where the government, where the state has taken sides against American Christians and has punished them, has persecuted them by threats of jail time and actual jail time, by monetary fines, by destroying them financially, because the state has taken sides with them against secularism. And most of the people, and I think I pointed it out in the book, Jared, that most of the judges that took sides against the Christians and decided that they were going to persecute the Christians and were appointed by either Comrade Barry or some other communist. Liberalism is a mental disease, and it doesn't matter whether you call yourself a feminist, whether you call yourself a Christian, whether you call yourself an environmentalist, whatever. Are animal rights activists, people who claim to love animals and so forth, and they support organizations like PETA that have, this isn't even conjecture, they support PETA because PETA says they love animals. PETA kills animals and throws them in the dumpster behind their facility. They've been fined numerous times for illegal dumping, for putting dead animal carcasses in dumpsters. But that's not what they say in their ads. No, because they don't actually do what they say they're going to do. They just say it. And because you're a mush brain, because you're soft-headed, you just believe it and give them your money. So the great news for the United States of America today, and I want you, even if you don't live in, now if you're in Georgia, good job, congratulations. And if you're in any of the other areas where they had special elections and you beat back the powers of communism and socialism, congratulations. I got one more story here, and it's from the USA Today. This, and also known as Pravda. So Pravda, American Pravda, USA Today, which is a 100% pro-Democrat organ, right? The USA Today, since its inception, has been nothing but a propaganda machine for the state and for the American Communist Party, which is known as the Democrats. So the what was Karen's last name? I don't want to. Karen Handel. She wins. She defeats the carpetbagger in Georgia. And so this is the title that the USA Today gives to that story. Instead of, congratulations, Karen Handel wins, Karen Handel victorious. No. President Trump taunts Democrats over Georgia special election loss. That's the story. President Trump taunts Democrats over special election loss. Oh, jeez. Oh, poor you. That's the story. Celebrating Republican special election wins in Georgia and South Carolina, President Trump taunted Democrats Wednesday over their intense opposition. All right, so the left wing, the Democrat Party, the psychotic liberal lunatics of America, have been threatening to kill the president, celebrating a demonstration of his death, right? Posting all kinds of insane psycho crap all over the social media about kill Republicans, celebrating the shooting of Republican congressmen, and their biggest problem is that President Trump, what did he do? He taunted them via Twitter. Oh, that's not fair and that's not nice. Hey, USA Today, Pravda scumbags. Where's all your stories about psychotic registered Democrats threatening to kill Trump and Trump supporters? Where are your stories about that? Where are your stories about this Jon Ossoff guy who's the definition of a carpetbagger, and how the Democrat National Party tried to take over an election in the state of Georgia? Where's your stories about that? You see, they're victims.
My question is, what did he say that they're saying he taunted? There's two quotes here in the story. You want me to read them?
Yeah, go ahead and read them.
This is the first quote that they're saying was taunting Democrats was, Democrats would be much better as a party if they got together with Republicans on health care, tax cuts, security. Obstruction doesn't work. That was one tweet that he
How
did.
hateful is that? Oh, that's hateful and hurtful.
Yep. And the other tweet that they're quoting here is, well, the special elections are over, and those that want to make America great again are 5-0. All the fake news, all the money spent equals 0.
Oh, how hurtful that is. That's almost like calling for someone's assassination. That's almost as bad as when a congressman is shot by a lunatic, celebrating it and being glad that it happened. It's almost the same thing, right, Jared? It's almost the same thing. Yeah. So here's the thing, America. Listen up. The takeaway from today is this. We can win. We have to fight. We have to be unified. If you want this nation to be a representative republic again, if you want the United States Constitution to mean something, if you want limited government, it can happen. You just have to fight for it. Now, there's going to be people that don't want you to fight for it. There are going to be people who throw fits and cry and whine, and but you need to stop listening to them. You need to stop listening to the people that tell you, we can't do it. You can't win. You don't understand. It's not possible. It is possible. It takes time, effort, and it's going to take you fighting for it.
These people are so mad that he can reach the public directly through social media.
Oh, yeah. They don't have the control that they used to have. That's what really hacks them off, is they don't think any president should speak to the United States, the people of the United States, without going through their big media filter first. And they can't handle it. They can't stand it.
And Donald Trump in his campaign, they actually used social media to sway the election, to win.
Yes, amazing.
So, yeah.
To actually go directly to the people without the media's permission.
Yeah.
Oh. Tomorrow on Student of the Gun Radio, California passes law to enable school shootings. We'll dive into that. We got a quiet time for you, brought to you by Silencer Shop. And what else do we have? Well, all kinds of goodness. Make sure that you're tuning in tomorrow. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.